In New Jersey last month, on February 16th, the state assembly passed a bill to legalize same-sex marriage. This is a picture of Democrats Reed Gusiora and Bonnie Watson Coleman watching the vote tally that day. And this, was their reaction when the legislation passed. Assemblyman Gusiora sponsored the marriage equality bill. The very next day, New Jersey's Republican Governor Chris Christie kept his promise to swiftly veto it, saying the people of New Jersey should vote on whether or not same-sex couples will have their right to marry recognized in New Jersey. Governor Christie's argument was essentially that the state assembly, the people New Jersey voters elected to represent them, the state legislature, did not represent New Jerseyans enough when it comes to this issue. The governor claiming that certain civil rights should be given to certain people only if a majority of voters say it's okay. Of course, if minority groups were only allowed to have rights that the majority decide to give them, we would be a very different country.
The fact of the matter is that I think people would have been happy to have a referendum, on civil rights rather than fighting and dying in the streets in the South.
Of course, any such referendum would have gone against civil rights. And then what, Governor? Wait a few decades, wait a few centuries, and just keep trying, keep asking for the majority to grant you your rights? Maybe more referenda? The whole idea of rights, the reason they're called rights, is that they're supposed to be unalienable. No one is supposed to get a vote on rights. But that's what Governor Christie is insisting that New Jersey should do. Governor Christie later tried to apologize for the civil rights ought to have been voted on statement. And he said he just didn't do a good job of making himself clear. So here he is clarifying.
What I said was juxtaposed against the civil rights movement, where that was not an option for them, because the political climate in the South in that period of time would not have permitted a referendum to have any chance of passage.
This is the strategy now for people who do not want gay people to have the right to get married in America. Take your chances on that political climate the governor was just describing there. Take your chances on the political climate, put your civil rights up for a vote, and hope it turns out okay. The General Assembly in the great state of Maryland recently passed a bill granting legal recognition to same-sex marriages in Maryland. The state's Democratic governor, Martin O'Malley, signed that into law last week, and that made Maryland the 8th state in America to legalize marriage equality. But even before Governor O'Malley actually signed the bill into law, anti-gay activists were filing paperwork so they could start gathering signatures to put this on the ballot, to put these rights up for a vote in November. It does not take many signatures to do that in Maryland. This will almost certainly make it onto the ballot. A new public policy poll shows that 52% of Marylanders say that they would probably or definitely vote to support same-sex marriage rights in the state, while 44% say they would probably or definitely vote against it. According to the Baltimore Sun, the 52-44 split is by far the rosiest result for same-sex marriage supporters to date. Two other recent polls have, quote, put the issue much closer to 50-50. Since 1998, 31 times states have voted on ballot measures. 31 times states have voted on ballot measures about whether or not same-sex couples have the right to get married. 31 times. And gay rights have lost all 31 of those times. The record is 0 for 31. Does that mean that gay people should not have rights? Or does that mean that gay rights, like other minority rights, ought to be protected from the whims of majority rule?